Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Do Nothing Project for Sunday, December 20th, 2020. In case everybody wasn't quite sure of the year, we're still in 2020. If you've never been to the Do Nothing Project before, well, first of all, welcome. On behalf of the Do Nothing community, there's a bunch of Do Nothingers in the, you'll see in the comments, they all know each other. They don't do very much, which is why they're so important to this endeavor. The idea is we get together every week and we do a simple meditation practice and we support each other. Maybe we give a report. People might give a report about what they, about something they experienced on the side, or a question or a thought or a comment. But that's not necessary. Mostly it's just about sitting here and letting the kind of nervous system reset here at the end of the weekend in preparation for the week to come. And I guess on different weeks, we might explore a different technique or a different variation on nothing. Today, I wanted to talk about, just briefly, about the will in meditation. But maybe it started with a story, why I'm thinking about that. It's been a rough 4 or 5 days for my wife and I. Our little son Eden has been pretty sick. He got some kind of virus, and at some point his fever was up to like 106. So we hadn't really been sleeping much, and I'm new to this. I know a lot of you parents, but it's like your whole world just. So we had to take him into the hospital, and he's just such a little dude, and he was just burning like a furnace, and he just burned off all his excess water. He was shrunken down. It was pretty scary. But he's okay now. He's good. The fever after about 4 days, it really broke yesterday. And now it's just, he's cool. I mean, he's still kind of irritable, but he looks sick. He probably has roseola, I think it's called, like a virus, like a rash. And so who knows where he got it, because he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't hang out with anybody. Anyway, one of the things that happened is he's a very willful little guy. Maybe like a lot of toddlers. I don't know what the percentage is there, but he's definitely like that. I was like that. My wife was like that. And he likes to do things his way all the time. That means he likes to choose what he's going to eat. He likes to choose, the position he's going to drink from the boob, if that's going to happen. And he likes to choose if he's going to drink or not. And you cannot make him drink. He is dehydrated. His diaper is bone dry. He's got a fever of 104 during the day or whatever it is. And he's just pumping heat, and he won't drink water. And we're like, we're losing our minds. We're at the hospital, and the dangers, they're going to have to put it, not a danger, they meant to put the IV in him. It's very dangerous dehydration in a little kid. I mean, because their body mass is so tiny, kidney failure, all this stuff. So we're basically having to force feed him rehydration fluid through a little mouth tube, and it's awful. But it got me thinking about his will. He's, of course, 15 months, he doesn't know what he's doing, but his will is so strong, it's like perversely, he will kill himself with his will. He will not drink because he's so fixated on this particular outcome. And so, you're thinking about this and thinking how unbelievable this is. And I realize, of course, this happens all the time in my life in smaller, subtler ways. I'm fierce. I'm like committed to some idea or something. It's not a commitment. I'm like fixated on something that actually may not be for my, for the greatest good in my life, or necessarily for the people around me. And so I'm having to constantly make these small modifications to my will, to the direction of my will and the fixatedness of it. So there's certainly learning there we can all do, but I was also thinking about how it shows up in meditation itself. And I think kind of really the classic place it shows up is really around this idea of right effort in meditation, which is, right effort means lots of things within a Buddhist context. There's entire massive discussions around that, and proper scholarly Buddhists could tell you about it. But how it shows up for me in my practice is, how am I I may make a commitment to just be and sit and chill, or a commitment to be with my breath or whatever it is. Oh, I don't know if I finished that story. He's totally fine. I'd leave that hanging. He turned out he was fine. He got the fluids he needed. He's back. He's good. In case that didn't want to leave you guys hanging there. Um, but to get back to the meditation, it's like you make a commitment to either just be or just try to stay with the breath or to stay pretty much easygoing. Um, and then you have within the practice itself, there's the kind of right effort of how you stay with that object or how you stay with that commitment. And it can be that we can stay with a commitment in a way that's very kind of intense and fixed. So we're really trying to stay with the breath and we're really kind of holding on, gripping really tight. And the problem with that is when you grip tight onto something or you really are working hard at something in a meditation, you can create tension. Create tension in the mind, it creates tension in the body. I mean, they kind of feed off each other. And you end up in this thing where you're going away from the direction that you want to head. You're not, meditation in a way begins with really stabilizing and settling the nervous system. That's where you kind of, sometimes that's all we're getting to. Sometimes we're spending years practicing just to do that. I know I've been in that place. And from there, then we're building up, other insights into things from there. But it really begins with this settling. So if you're really, really tense when you're meditating, you're not getting that first order of stability and peace in the nervous system. So it's about kind of calibrating that effort when you're practicing. So when you're sitting, I was thinking one thing we could look at today is you make your commitment and notice what that feels like to make a commitment, and how is that different than the kind of effort you make within the practice. What I would suggest is there's sort of a middle way, a right spot for us. We talked about this once before in calibrating attention. I think I did a DNP around that. Just there's sort of a right spot for us. It's not too totally lax and drooly and just collapsed, but on the other hand, not too really tense and holding on, and kind of trying to find what is the right effort for you and what is the experience of your own will. How might it be different than how about, say, setting a commitment within the practice itself? It's just a way in which we start to learn about how to kind of find our sweet spot in practice and where there may be blind spots. And so, bunch of words based on Eden's experience. Thank you, Teacher Eden, for your immensely fixated will. Let's do nothing. Okay, so as always with the Do Nothing Project, if you got your own practice, of course, you're really welcome to do that. I kind of make a few guideline for a practice, a few suggestions that you could just let that be like the sound of traffic in the distance. So if you're following along, it's nice to start with a few deep breaths. Yeah, I think a lot of times meditation prompts, we're kind of already doing these things. They're just reminders of ways of orienting ourselves that are helpful. And one of those orientations is just off the top, just being deliberate about extending the out breaths a bit, which is really a reminder to create this intention around beginning to relax the tension in the body. So softening the forehead as you breathe out, softening the cheeks and the jaw and the shoulders, even softening the belly. And first commitment in a practice, at least for me, is this commitment of equanimity, which is a commitment to stay open, sort of this direction we headed in a practice towards balance, towards a kind of affable impartiality, meaning that whatever's happening, maybe there's annoying sounds in the environment, some tensions in the body, or thoughts, whatever's happening, moods, emotions, and let it all be there. That includes the pace of our own progress, includes everything. It's this deep practice of sort of trying to calibrate, in a sense, to how things are, not fighting with them, that kind of smooth, open quality. And then the next commitment is how you want to play out this next 25 minutes. Do you want to just sit and be? You can just say, I'm going to do that, and that's the commitment. You want to sit and be with a particular object, a home base. So the feeling of the breath, say, or sound of the heat vent, or tingling in your fingers, maybe, if there's any warmth there, feeling of the ground underneath you, maybe an image of the breath as it rises and falls that we're interested in, as well as the sensation of breathing. I mean, there's lots of different home bases that can be very comforting. So make your commitment now to a home base, to multiple home bases, to just sitting and being open. And then you let it go because it's in there somewhere. And you just settle into the practice. Good. So if you're working with a home base, something you can explore a little bit is what is the right effort here? You can play around with focusing a little harder, like being more of a Jedi, really staying on a sensation. Or you can do the opposite. You can kind of back off a bit and let yourself be with it very, very, very lightly. In neither case do you want to create strain. You kind of want to be curious, what's the right effort to kind of keep me on track here? course, if you're doing a more just being surrendering practice, there may not be a specific effort around a sensation, but there can still be a current underneath there of what's keeping you here. And let it be light. Of course, the mind wanders, and you get distracted. You come back in a light way, remembering your commitment, and also that commitment to stay easygoing. So maybe you're really kind of drifting and you're enjoying it, and that's fine. Maybe you might want to bring back a little effort if you're working with a home base. Stay a little bit more on top of that, letting the sensation draw you in, being curious about the softest part of it, really being deliberate about staying with it, if that's the practice you're doing. Just exploring a little more effort might look like. Conversely, if you're really, really, really on something, exploring what it might look like to just soften a little bit, to back off something a little bit. So there's this way we can kind of calibrate our attention, figure out where we need to be. Okay, good. So, the last few minutes, if you like, do a little gratitude practice. That's kind of what's coming to mind for me, just because of our situation. Just thinking about, you know, how happy I am for my son's health. He got better. Or just thinking for yourself about what you want to think about. It's going to stoke a little gratitude in the last couple minutes here. It's about simple things, trees, the air, the water, health, friends, relationships. Always good to work this muscle. And then maybe you have a phrase that works for you, maybe thank you or whatever you want to say. Or maybe you don't need any phrase. Thank you all to meditate with you. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Lauren. We're holding it down, the blue font. Thanks to the whole community, all the names. Angie, Gabrielle, Brooke, San, Desiree, nice. Chris, Adele. Hey, Adele. Harrison, Corey, Reese, Frank, Susan, Jackie, Diana, Siobhan, Peter. Good to meditate with you guys. Barb, Dirk. Thank you to Lily and Milan. Keep me sane during the week. Keep the wheels turning on the Do Nothing production studios. Yeah. Appreciate all you guys and gals. I gotta stop saying that. Old ticks from being born in the 70s. Tina says there was definitely a moment of surrender there. Andrew's very kindly putting a word in for the CEC, the nonprofit that we do that brings meditation out to virtually and locally, though now all virtually. Thanks for everyone for the well wishes, especially around Eden. He's good now. Oh yeah, Lindley's saying talk about the daily trip release tomorrow. Okay. Oh, shit. Is it happening tomorrow? Ray is saying, thank you, Jeff. Sorry about your son. Yeah, been there, done that. I know. Yeah, so Lily, thank you. So I've been working on writing all these meditations, new meditations for Calm. So we're actually starting them tomorrow. I think they're doing a soft launch of them tomorrow on the Calm app. It's going to be there's going to be the daily Calm, and then there's going to be the daily trip, which is the thing that I do, which is just kind of like what we do here, maybe a little more. They're only 10 minutes long, but there's usually a story or some kind of way into some little exploration. Some of them are very exploratory. I mean, they might be exploring a particular challenge or just some weird thing like, how small you can make your attention or how much you can slow down. Other times they're just very minimalist. Other times they're just weird, quirky things. But I've been writing them and recording them, and Lily's been helping me. And we have, I think, like 50 or something and recorded them. So those are starting tomorrow on Calm. I think you got to be a subscriber, but a lot of the things that we do there I actually do for free here first. So, and they're longer here. And then I'm going to keep writing those and recording those through the year. So it's been tons of work, and we'll see how they go. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Hopefully people will like them. It's not the 30-day course I did for Calm, How to Meditate, was great because it had a real tight focus. I got to build up the curriculum over 30 days, which is what I love to do. These are like, no, has to be only 10 minutes. So you can, I'm kind of feeling the urge to do something longer, but they're still fun to do. And I guess collectively, they're kind of a curriculum, about, really it's about becoming your own teacher, learning about getting insight about how the nervous system works and how practice works. And so if you can check that out if you want. Yeah, Jennifer saying it's like, check them out. Her son's school got all the students and parents a free Calm account. Oh, nice. Since COVID. That's good to hear. So people saying good things about the course. Yeah, a lot of you guys I know found your way here through that. So really appreciate that. Yeah, let us know next week how you like it. Oh, great. Franksta says went to the first Vipassana 10-day retreat last month. Very cool. That's a pretty fun, or I wouldn't say fun, it could be fun. I've done that a few times. That's the Goenka retreat. A lot about the body scans all day long, and these strong determination sits. Really powerful though. Candace saying, can you post a link to the 4 medicines DNP session? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just, if you just Google it on the YouTube page, you'll see it. And me, Andrew, pop it in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, there's a whole bunch of new stuff for 10% Happier Life that I just did too around a compassion course. So if you're more on the 10% happier, 10% happier tip, there's a bunch of stuff coming out there too. Okay, friends, I am going to bed. Thank you to my beautiful wife for helping us survive this week. She's meditating over there, quiet area. And I'll see you guys next week. If not next week, maybe I might have a friend do it next week. Take a week off. We'll see. Adios. Oh yeah, happy holidays and all that. We'll be here before New Year's, but if I somehow don't see you all before New Year's, Happy New Year. Now, big deal. Today is the solstice, or tomorrow's the solstice, which is the sun return. That's what they call it in Ursula Le Guin books, who's one of my favorite writers. So the sun is coming back. days are getting longer, starting the day after tomorrow. So, and then I think there's some celestial event of some astronomical event of great import happening as well. So, good luck with all that.